What are the roots of the equation x squared plus 8x minus 44 equals 0? We have four choices. We have to pick one of these four and copy our equation down, make it a little bit bigger, and add 44 to both sides of the equation. Add 44 here and here. So we end up with x squared 8x equals 44. Now we need a full screen to work, so let's just erase everything but our equation. Okay. Now, what is half of 8? You say 4, but what does 4 have to do with anything? Well, just bear with me for a minute. Let me write this down and we'll see. X plus 4 squared. Okay, what does this mean? Well, when you square this thing, you write it twice, don't you? And then we FOIL it. My first terms are what? My outsides are x and 4. X times 4 is the same thing as 4 times x. Okay, commutative property. X times 4, and I wrote it this way. My inside terms are these two, so we end up with that again, don't we? And then you have 4 times 4 for my last terms. 4 and 4 for the last terms. So I'm getting x squared, I'm getting 4x, I'm getting 4x, and I'm getting 16, but hey, look, this 4x and 4x, why don't I just write it as 8x? Hey, have I seen that somewhere before? But I have to have a 16 here to be able to write this, okay? So if I add 16 right here, I want to add 16 right here then too, so they'll still be equal. So copy down the 44 and add 16. So now the value of putting a 16 here is I can write this as a square term. Okay, this is a perfect square trinomial. Okay, so now I get to say x plus 4 squared equals, and what is 44 plus 16? 60. Okay, so this equation up here becomes this one when you put a 16 on both sides. Sum it all up, take half of that, write 4, square 4, put 16 here and here. Now, let's look at this a little closer. If I take the square root of this, you'll get x plus 4. Now, that's either going to be plus the square root of this, or it's going to be minus the square root of that. Okay? Now, what is the square root of 60? Get rid of some of this stuff so I can write up here. 60, square root of 60. This equals 4 times 15 is 60. You say, well, so what? Well, the point is, I know what the square root of 4 is, don't you? So this is not simplified because the square root of 4 is not simplified. So simplify that and write 2 the square root of 15. So that's what I'm going to put here. I'm going to put 2 square root of 15 and 2 square root of 15. Notice this is a minus 2 then. But while we're at it, let me just go ahead and solve this thing for x. Subtract 4 from this. What's 4 minus 4? What's x plus 0? Okay, so if I subtract 4 here, I must subtract 4 over here, so I'll have negative 4 plus the square root of 60. By the way, the square root of 60 is what? Huh? We already know what that is. So it's minus 4 plus this thing, or minus 4 what? Minus this thing. Now notice in both cases, both answers, I have minus 4 as my first member here, and then I have the 2. This is a plus 4 and plus 4. A and C are wrong because it's supposed to be minus 4. So I have to pick between B and D. I'll eliminate D because I don't have 2 to the square root of 15. Remember it was 2 square root of 15? So we're going to pick answer B.